It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Greetings and welcome to 2K Sports. I rarely say greetings, but I just did. I'm your host, Ernie Johnson, alongside Kenny and Shaq. Tonight we'll see the Miami Heat playing against the Cavaliers in Cleveland. And for Cleveland, these guys are playing good basketball with 7 wins in their last 10 games, and they like their chances tonight. And here in the early going, the pecking order of the league still being decided. Every team has the playoffs as their goal. Shaq, does it feel more like a level playing field this early on?
Well, any team can win on a given night, especially when they have something bigger to play for. Right now, everybody still has a chance to make the playoffs, Ernie, so I can't really answer that question.
Yeah, right now, Ernie.
Thanks for trying.
Yeah, to me, it's paper-mache teams because they're good teams on paper. You haven't seen them really develop. We haven't seen them, have a continuity or conclusion together. That's why you play the games, Ernie. That's why you play the games. Bring your game, not your name.
I was wondering why they played the games. Let's go to Kevin Harlan. Maybe he knows.
Basketball in store for you here at Quicken Loans Arena in downtown Cleveland, Ohio. It's the home of the Cavs, live on 2K Sports. With David Aldridge on our sideline, and here with me, Greg Anthony and Steve Smith, this is Kevin Harlan. Looking at the last game for the Cleveland Cavaliers, it was a win against the Knicks in New York. And, of course, that game going to overtime, a very exciting finish there, but they stayed strong to the end and pulled it off.
And what an outstanding win it was. I mean, to get it the way they did in overtime made it that much sweeter.
They show real guts, nabbing that victory in overtime. No doubt they are a better team because of that one moving forward.
So the opening lineup for the Heat, Dragic is out there with Dion Waiters. Then there's Whiteside. Then it's Luke Babbitt. And it's Ellington in at the small forward position. No good from Irving. Well, you guys talk about an imposing presence on the floor. Hassan Whiteside is about as big as they get in the NBA. You can't go through him, and it's even tougher, Greg, to go over the top of him.
And Whiteside is a tree of a player. There is no other way to put it. Measures at 7 feet flat, but has enough bounce in his jump where you think he's 7'6" at the end of the game. Also, very solid core strength, guys. He is difficult to move when he plants his feet.
Miami with the ball. Following the miss by J.R. Smith from deep. And now the fast break. Irving with the ball. And he lays that one in.
And that's vintage Kyrie. He has the blow-by speed to get past defenders off the dribble.
Dragic with it. Turned in an outstanding game against Atlanta. Right side a screen. Here's Waiters. Misses the three. For Cleveland, they've gone 1 of 3 from the field to start this one so far. The shot by LeBron, no good.
And typically he has the touch to finish when he's in tight, but not sure on that possession.
Count the basket.
And we're already seeing a little rhythm out of this offense. They've hit 3 out of 4 so far.
Now here's Love. And he just worked New York in that last game. LeBron kicks to Thompson. Yes, it's James picking up the assist. Thompson's got his first 2 points of the night.
Converting against good defense, the length and desire of Thompson making the difference.
Kicks it to Ellington. The dish to Whiteside. Here's the screen. Baseline try. And it's LeBron James with the rebound.
Tell you what, the defense got lucky there because you know he can hit it from mid-range.
Back to Irving. That doesn't go on the chance to tie.
What I like there, fantastic defensive rotation. Just suffocated him at the point of attack.
Irving against Dragic. In the corner, it's Ellington. 6 on the shot clock. Good D by James.
Not the best shot right there with a good defender draped all over you.
No, not at all. When you see him guard you, just try to move the basketball on.
Easy to see who's going to win that race.
I love to see them push it like that because the reason why, he's a deadly finisher in the transition game.
It's Dragic with the drive. The rebound by Kevin Love. And it's Dragic with the foul. That is his first foul of the game. First quarter of action, just under 3.5 minutes played. Outside Irving. There's the triple. Falls through. He's now made 2 of 4.
The thing about Kyrie, he has great natural balance when setting up for the jumper.
They really want to find that igniter here.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill.
Now here's Waiters. They also played a big role in their last game with Atlanta. To halt the run. The shot's good from Ellington. Ellington's got his first 2 points.
And the defense just gets caught standing around that time and giving up the second chance opportunity.
Second chance points can kill you. You must concentrate on the defensive glass.
The Heat trail by 4. Outside Dragic. Here's Waiters. And he was fouled in the act of shooting. Chance here now for a 3-point play.
How about the way he's able to angle his body to shield the big fella off and still get the finish?
Well, he has to be able to use angles. He has to be a great finisher in tight spaces and to be able to throw his little body into the big guys.
Miami shooting their first free throw of the game right now. And that one misses. Steve, when you reach this midway point of the season, are teams looking forward to the All-Star break as a chance to get some rest?
I think so, Kevin, but there are some teams that are steamrolling right into the All-Star break. They're playing well. You want to keep playing, but I think every team needs some rest, and what I love now is there's longer breaks in the All-Star break, giving the guys a few more extra days.
Here's Dragic. Tristan Thompson picking up that last bucket. Dragic dishes to Waiters. 5 to shoot. And Dragic with the basket on the assist by Waiters. Dragic has got his second basket.
And they've done well at taking advantage of some late defensive rotations and getting the ball in the paint.
Love with the screen for Smith. Pass to LeBron. 14 feet away, and it's Miami with the rebound. Whiteside's got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. Here's Babbitt with the 3. It's rebounded by Cleveland. This, of course, their first chance to play Miami this season.
Yeah, and they're hoping for a better showing against this club this season. Last year they came out on the losing end. He thought he had the clean block there, but the refs saw it differently, and they call the goaltending.
The Heat trail by 4. Here's Waiters. They've been leaning on him for a decent chunk of their offense. He's averaging over 15 points a game. Babbitt's shot is off.
Even though he couldn't quite convert the layup, I like him being in attack mode.
Thompson sets the pick for Irving. No good from outside. Miami's gone 0 of 2 from deep here. Ellington kicks to Dragic. Another shot. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line.
Nice work to get it inside and draw the contact.
Well, the league going more up-tempo with more three-point shooting. That's not, though, the Miami Heat.
No, they're at the bottom of the league as far as pace and as far as three-point shooting. This team makes its bones at the defensive end of the floor. That's really where they excel.
And he can't get the first one. He's off on the second.
It's so hard to slow down the Cavs offensively. Reason why is they spread you out with a lot of shooters, and then they have that guy, LeBron James, who breaks you down, get in the paint, and once you collapse, he kicks it out or he can score the basketball.
Now Dragic after LeBron's three-pointer that didn't go. Raiders no luck. Now let's go to the sideline and catch up with our Hall of Famer, David Aldridge.
Hey, Kevin, I was able to talk with Tyronn Lue for just a minute. He said that interior presence is #1 on their list defensively. He told me that they have to make it difficult inside and close out the passing lanes to prevent easy looks in the paint. We'll see if that works for him, Kevin.
Thank you, David. And the Cavs with inside-out scoring ability, Steve. You can't just play them for the drive or the outside shot.
Yeah, they're well-rounded. They have shooters, they have penetrators, they have post-up guys, and LeBron is really the one who brings it all together with his playmaking ability.
Kyle Korver, he's checked in for J.R. Smith. And then for Miami, Josh McRoberts is checked in for Luke Babbitt. Richardson comes in for Waiters. And it's Johnson in for Goran Dragic. The Heat trail by 7. And here is Johnson. 9 points last game out. Now Ellington. He dishes it to Whiteside. Johnson, that's for 2. Offensive rebound, Heat. Second shot opportunity. And Johnson missing again. The Cavaliers leading by 7. Outside Irving. Pulls it from the elbow. Doesn't go for him. Great D that time from Johnson. Miami's gone 0 of 2 from deep here. Richardson. Miami no good on that time either.
You love the closeout on that possession.
I love it because you don't give up on the play. Just that little contest bothered his shot.
Now here's Ellington. He had a 15-point outing in their last game against Atlanta.
And what an alley-oop. Those two read each other so well.
It's a play I'm sure they love to run. Now here's James. He kicks it to Love. Here's Thompson. And that's good. A nice job in the glass as they pick up 2 on the second effort.
The unbelievable effort. Thompson, a dedicated warrior on the offensive glass.
Johnson outside. They set the pick. Offensive rebound. Richardson, good.
And guys, they continue to put a lot of pressure on the interior defenders with their work down low.
Irving with it. Another key contributor to that nice win against New York. And it's Kevin Love with the foul. That'll be his second foul of the game. And And the Cavaliers will go with a different look here. Channing Fries checked in for Thompson. Williams comes in for Kevin Love. Shumpert is checked in for Kyle Korver. And Darren Williams is subbed in for Kyrie Irving. Johnson outside. Pass to Whiteside. Johnson the screen. Whiteside dishes to Richardson. Down low. And stolen by James. And the Cavaliers pushing it up now. Shot from the wing. And it comes off the front of the rim. The Heat trail by 5. Feeds it to McRoberts. Fades. It's hauled in by Fry. The Cavaliers shooting 43% since taking the floor today. Williams can't hit. And Miami has possession. They are coming off that win against Atlanta.
And boy, did they impress everyone with that comeback they had in the fourth. Just stunned that crowd.
Here's Williams. The Heat knocking down the tray. And it's in there.
Terrific effort on that shot. I mean, he's given up a lot of inches in that mismatch.
And that's where his great body control and positioning came into play. He knows how to avoid getting his shot blocked.
Here's Johnson. Darren Williams picking up that last basket. Johnson with it. He's picked up by LeBron. Ellington. The shot's good on the assist by Johnson. Ellington's got his second bucket of the night.
Hard to get that one off with the size difference there. That makes it a tough individual matchup for him, especially down low.
But what he does is uses his body extremely well to shield off the defenders from the basketball.
That evens the score. .149 left to play in the first. Okay, time now for an injury report. Now for an update on Kyle Korver's injury, let's swing it over to our Hall of Famer, David Aldridge.
Guys, I was able to catch up with Cleveland's head athletic trainer. After taking a look, he informed me that it doesn't look too bad. We're well into this season, and that is the last thing this team needed. And that's going to make things much harder for them down the road. Kevin?
Thank you, David. Hopefully, we'll see him very soon.
The defender gets caught in a bad position. LeBron powerful enough to convert through contact. Let's see what he does at the line. The one thing about LeBron James, he's had a huge impact on the basketball court, but also off the court. Always taking a stand on a lot of social issues.
Here's what Miami's going with right now. Reed comes in for Hassan Whiteside. And James Johnson is subbed in for Wayne Ellington. And LeBron showing solidarity with a lot of popular causes. It's a tricky balance, Steve. You know this, you played the game. I'm sure for a player that is so much like LeBron in the public eye.
Yeah, he's done a nice job of being an activist. He's taken on a lot of roles, but there are sometimes when fans, they want you to say more. He's in a unique position. I think we can safely say he's done more in that regard than a lot of his peers. You know, even though he's been off the mark this quarter, he's trying not to let it shake his confidence.
Well, that's one way he can finish, but far from the only way he gets it done. He's got all kinds of tricks up his sleeve.
Johnson, the pass to Johnson. Reed kicks to McRoberts. Reed, a screen on Williams. Here's Richardson. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2. For Miami, they have come up empty at the line so far in 3 attempts. The first free throw is good.
Well, the Cleveland Cavaliers definitely played at a slow pace. They've sped up the pace. They love the three-point shots. LeBron attacks so much in the inside. He creates a lot of open looks for the Cavs shooters to knock down threes.
No good on the second, so he hits 1 of 2. And the Cavs no different. They're following the league trend of shooting more threes, but not the trend towards playing up tempo.
No, not at all. They still can play half-court basketball and also still knock down threes. The reason why they have a lot of guys that can stretch her out, and they have that guy LeBron James that can break down the defense.
6 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. 6 on the shot clock. The Heat need to get a shot off. Johnson from outside, and there's the shot clock violation. Couldn't get the shot off in time. Five seconds left in the first quarter of the game. From deep LeBron, that misses, would have counted had it gone in. And so the first quarter is in the books. Cavaliers on top, leading by 4. And the second quarter will be on the way when we come back. And we got a chance to hear from LeBron James about the hard work and preparation he brings into every game.
I go back and I'm able to, read the scouting report, and also when I get to the arena, I also watch more film on each and every guy that's going to be playing, guys that I know I may be, matched up against, throughout the night. So I'm not surprised by anything if it happens throughout the game. So it's a lot of preparation that goes in, to just one game, just trying to get one win, but that's what it takes in the NBA.
I think you'd have to say the preparation really shows on the court in his play, and rarely does he look surprised out there or caught off guard.
And Kevin, that's really just the mark of a total pro. And I don't think oftentimes the fans appreciate how much goes in terms of preparation. Some guys get it and some guys don't, but he's a perfect example of what proper preparation means in terms of preventing a poor performance.
All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment. And from what you guys have seen so far from Cleveland, what's your take?
Well, they've dictated tempo with their defense and been able to force some turnovers.
They've been super aggressive on that end, and they've been rewarded for it so far. Let's see if they'll be able to maintain this for the rest of the game.
On the court for Miami here in the second. Johnson is out there with Luke Babbitt. Then there's Dion Waiters. Then it's Reed. And it's Dragic in at the point guard. And the Cavaliers making a change here. Smith has checked in. And Kyle Korver in 2015 winning the Sportsmanship Award, and more importantly, his first All-Star appearance at the age of 33.
Yeah, pretty rare to see that, but credit his dedication. He continues to work on his game, work on his body, and he gets better and better. Not content to be a shooting specialist, he wants to have a complete game.
And here is Williams after Dion Waiters getting his 3 to go. Now, here is Reed, guarded by Fry. Outside, Dragic. Johnson with a screen on Smith. Lock at 6. Here's Babbitt. That one dropped for his second bucket. Mark him 2 for 4.
And boy, did he ever sell the pump fake. Worked to absolute perfection.
And here in the second with about a minute and a half gone by. And it's Korver in the corner. Offline with his 3. Miami trailing. Dragic dishes to Babbitt. Johnson kicks to Babbitt. Lays it up and banks it in. Babbitt's got 4 this quarter.
Really crisp, intelligent passing to make that basket possible.
Outside Williams. They set the pick. Fry passes to Smith. 3-pointer. And it's Reed pulling it down. Reed's got his 3rd rebound on the night. And here in the second quarter of action with a hair under 2.5 minutes played so far. Dragic dishes to Johnson. Back to Dragic. Free throw line jump shot. Nice D from Williams.
If his shots were just a little more on point tonight, they'd be holding a much bigger lead right now.
Again, the miss by Smith.
Mix up defensively, left him wide open from mid-range. That's a shot he needs to hit.
And the dunk by Reed.
And you could see him give a little nod and then just burst to the rim for the alley-oop slam.
A pair of teammates, Greg, with a terrific feel for each other. From the sideline, let's catch up with Hall of Famer David Aldridge.
Well, LeBron James has stepped up over the years, both on and off the court. Of course, he plays with that reckless abandon, but off the floor, he's been very involved and vocal about social issues. And more dramatically, he entrusted his marketing empire to his childhood friends. LeBron recalled people called it the worst decision ever. All this to 3 guys who didn't finish college. We got dirt thrown on all of us, but I always believed in him. Kevin, you can't say it hasn't worked out.
He's broken the mold, D.A. Thank you. Williams, that's good. And just over 3.5 minutes played here in the second quarter. And Waiters kicks to Babbitt. Pass to Dragic. And another basket for Miami.
I'm not entirely sure what the defensive strategy was there, but it worked poorly. He loves taking that shot.
Here's Williams. He's averaging just around 8.5 points a game. Korver, no luck. And it's Miami's ball. They're on a 13-3 run. Babbitt passes to Waiters. 17-foot shot on the way. That missed basket now makes him 4 of 8 from the field. Here's Williams, and good work on the boards. They pick up the second chance points. Williams has got 7.
And I like the fact that he really was unfazed by that scoreless first quarter, and now you can see him getting into a rhythm.
Waiters on the wing, guarded by Korver. Waiters dishes to Reed. Back to Waiters. From the wing, and Dragic gets it to go on the assist by Waiters. Waiters got 4 assists now tonight.
And when it rains, it pours. Another jump shot tickles the twine.
And it's blocked. And it's out of bounds. The Cavaliers able to retain possession here. For the Cavaliers, Thompson, he's checked in for Fry. Love comes in for Derek Williams. And Kyrie Irving subbed in for Darren Williams. Irving against Dragic. Outside Korver. Here's Love. Misses off the left iron. Now the Heat with it. They're on a 15-5 run. Johnson, and so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2. J.R. Smith picks one up. James Johnson, a journeyman forward, a product of Wake Forest, as we know, Smitty, and wherever he has landed, he has found a way to crack the rotation and get solid minutes.
Yes, James Johnson is a perfect guy to round out your roster. Reason why he can play either forward position with ease. He is comfortable and productive both as a starter or coming off the bench.
He misses the free throw. Whiteside's checked in for Miami. Ellington comes in for Luke Babbitt. He hits the second from the line. Well, as a former player, Smitty, you know just how much effort it takes on a nightly basis to succeed. And who in the NBA do you see that has the best motor, the highest competitive value, night in and night out, always hustling?
Russell Westbrook is one of those guys. His motor never turns off. Draymond Green, those guys love to come out and compete. Chris Paul is another guy. You can see the passion in those guys, their mind working while they're on the floor at all times.
Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. Quick ends and the ability to anticipate the opening to create a turnover, so valuable, especially for a guard, as we see 2 tremendous talents with their ability to steal that ball away.
You know, and John Stockton, the only player to have cracked the 3,000 barrier in terms of career steals. You ask the fans about Stockton, and it's his passing they'll remember. But if you ask the players he's played up against, they'll tell you it's his defense that was just as sharp.
And that one falls for Johnson.
And with the acquisition of Goran Dragic, it's really created an interesting tug of war as far as play style for the Heat. He's a guy who'd been accustomed to playing up-tempo, and while you look at this Heat team, they right now are anything but.
And he misses the third. And the Heat committing to get out and run off of stops. They do clean up the glass when they force a miss.
Yeah, one of the best defensive rebounding teams in the league, but transition would also, I think, improve them offensively. They just need to also get a few more looks from beyond the arc.
Love with the screen on Johnson. Here's Irving. Here's Thompson, and it's blocked by Whiteside.
A good board there, Kevin, but overall they're getting slightly out-rebounded. Oh, inflicting some punishment with the two-hand flush.
They're going for the throat. Timeout is called. First of the game for the Cavaliers.
And they've gotten good looks, you know, so that's one reason they're frustrated. Maybe he can come up with something to get them an easy one, maybe get to the line.
Yeah, he has to get his offense moving again. It hasn't been bad, but it could be much better.
And Hassan Whiteside signing a max contract to return to the Miami Heat this summer. What a dramatic change of fortune for a player, Greg, who'd bounced around early in his career.
And how about it, Kevin? I think he may be the first player in history to jump from making the NBA minimum to the NBA maximum in one season. He's going to be making 30 times more than he did last year. And who wouldn't like that kind of a pay raise?
And if you're wondering where the points are coming from here tonight, here's a breakdown in the scoring between the front court and back court tonight for the Heat.
And it's been pretty even between the bigs and smalls here. With the game still in question, we'll see which of these guys can take another step to take over the game.
And so here's Cleveland, trailing here by 8. Following this one, they get to host the Hornets. And that will be the middle game of this 3-game homestand. Irving for 3. That one, no good. And the Heat going the other way now. And Waiters kicks to Ellington. And now it's a double-digit lead.
Yeah, and they're shooting really starting to pick up here in the second.
A different look for Miami. Josh McRoberts is checked in for Johnson. Richardson comes in for Waiters. And it's Johnson in for Goran Dragic. And here is Irving. He's got 8. Dishes to Love. And another miss by Cleveland.
I am wondering what can he do to get it cranked up. Nothing from long range this quarter after hitting 1 in the first.
Here is McRoberts. He's guarded by Love. McRoberts misses. The Cavaliers trail by 11. They really want to find that igniter here.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill.
And it's Korver in the corner. Korver missing again.
To me, there's a fine line between being aggressive and just flat out forcing it. His inability to make shots right now is sinking the ship.
So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there. Steve, you played in your 14-year career mainly at that shooting guard. Great size for the position at 6'7". Is size still the same advantage that it once was in your day?
I think so, if you're skilled. And I'll tell you a quick story, Kevin. I started off as a point guard. Everybody wanted to be Magic Johnson, then moved to the 2 guard. I know it was time to retire. On my last year, they had me playing the 5. I said, that's it. It's time to go. Just for a couple games.
Yeah. What did you feel your best position was?
I thought at 2 guard position. At first, I thought it was point guard.
You were an all-star at the 2 guard.
Yes. Coming in as that point guard. Offensively, I was okay. But Kevin, defensively, trying to check those little point guards.
Tough.
Woo, I was struggling.
And so McRoberts nails both of them. Now you look at the star trio of LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Love. Smitty, how do you think the Cavs have done as far as integrating the talents of those three?
It's been a big challenge, reason why all three of these guys are accustomed to having the basketball in their hands and getting a lot of touches. There's only one basketball, and it's not easy. It takes a lot of sacrifice, trust, and commitment. You know, with that much room, you don't lay it up. You throw it down like you've been disrespected.
Korver kicks to Irving. The feed to James. The fader. He scores the basket. That's field goal number 3 for him.
At a time when everyone's obsessed with threes and dunks, LeBron's showing off a strong in-between game.
Right side a screen. Johnson, the pass to McRoberts. Whiteside dishes to Ellington. Just 5 to shoot. Johnson's shot is off. The Cavaliers trail by 11. And it's out of bounds. The Heat will take it the other way.
Taking a look at some stats for James. His last 10 games have been exceptional. He's averaging about 19 points per, 6 assists and 7 rebounds. And with his great passing, he's been a catalyst for their offense, often seeing plays even before they materialize.
Now here's Richardson. He's got 6. Here's Johnson. An easy 2 points on the layup. Johnson's got the lead up to 13 now for the Heat.
Well, we've seen that movie a few times, haven't we? An easy bucket in the paint.
Timeout called, Cleveland. As the teams head into this timeout, a chance for the coaches now to map out some plays for the next few minutes and a chance for the players to rehydrate with some Gatorade. That's important if they want to make sure they don't wear down later in the game.
Absolutely. Over the course of a game, you have to stay hydrated.
And clearly, he's in a lot of pain. They call time, and the trainer's going to get a chance to go out and check him over.
Well, you need good passing from your forwards as much as you do from your guards. These are small forwards leading the way in assists. LeBron James second.
The passes we've seen some of these guys make from the wing, just outstanding, truly gifted distributors.
Teams benefit so much from having these guys at the small forward position that can pass. It's like having 2 point guards on the floor.
And Thompson throws it down.
And credit Kyrie, tremendous vision. Finds the open man.
The Heat leading by 11. Now Richardson. He has 6. In the corner, it's Ellington. And stolen by LeBron. And now the Cavaliers. Fast break. Irving leading the charge. Tries again. It's hauled in by Richardson. Miami's gone 1 of 2 on 3-pointers here in the second quarter so far. And McRoberts kicks to Whiteside. And the jam by Whiteside.
Yeah, I mean, maybe could have tried for a more memorable dunk than that one.
And we know he's capable of those memorable ones. And it's Thompson with the jam.
The vision of LeBron, always finding open teammates.
Now here's Johnson. Taking a look at his stats, he's averaging around 7.5 points a game. Ellington kicks to McRoberts. A second chance effort. The Cavaliers pull it in. Thompson's got 8 rebounds in this game. And stolen by Ellington. There's 1:47 left to play in the first half. Whiteside. And count the basket. He was fouled, and he's going to the line for one more.
Yeah, he earned that one. I mean, taking the hit and still able to get that one to go down.
First trip to the free throw line for him tonight.
And you know, guys, he had a big game at the free throw line in their last outing.
Shooting one.
On the free throw, no good. Steve, I still remember when you went to Atlanta in that trade from Miami. Pretty much everyone agreed it was a heist. It was a steal for the Hawks. Do you think we see less lopsided trades these days?
Yeah, we do, Kevin. Reason why, because of the salary cap. You're trying to match money and money together. And I think right now, Kevin, you're starting to see, because of the contract situations, you want value for value. So they're not as lopsided as they used to be. Incredible. He was shooting the ball with good rhythm in the first quarter. Now he's just unconscious.
They set the screen. Shumpert in the corner. Outside Korver. Offensive rebound. That's no basket. His third miss in 8 tries. The Heat leading by 13. Ellington the pass to Richardson. He feeds it to Ellington. Looks good, is good. Bucket number 4 from the field. He's taken only 6 shots.
And the crisp passing has opened things up for them offensively.
Thompson and Whiteside sends it back. Ellington with it. He's got 9. Richardson, that's a 2-pointer. And he didn't get quite enough under that one.
Almost no chance of that shot going in.
On that play, you gotta trust your teammates. Instead of forcing that one, just pass it.
That's good, and the Heat lead is cut down now to just 12 on the basket from Korver. Miami's gone 1 of 3 from way outside since the start of the second quarter. Here's Johnson. The pass to Whiteside. Fade away, and he can't bank that one in. That shot, no good. The clock runs out, and we're heading to halftime. Heat lead by 12. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thanks a lot. James, they played very well, but you guys really took them out of that. How did that happen?
Yeah, you know, we talked about how they're on a roll, so our second group wanted to come out, give the energy to the first group, and just do our game, play our game, no expectations, just go out and play hard.
You really backed them up. Thanks a lot, James. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, thank you, David. And folks, don't go away. After the break, we'll see you right back here for the start of quarter number 3.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Ernie Johnson here once again, joined by Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. We welcome you back to the halftime show on 2K Sports. It was a closely contested first quarter for Miami. They did jump out to a lead in the opening period, but 4 points was the biggest it got. The second quarter was all theirs. Major uptick in offensive and defensive intensity as they did their jobs with precision, now sitting on a comfortable 12-point lead at the half. Let's hear from you, Shaq, on the Heat first half.
You got to like their offense efficiency. They were patient, took good shots. That was reflected in their high field goal percentage. They just need to keep playing smart in the second half and close this thing out. Don't get cute now.
Kenny, let's get your insight on Cleveland.
Poor efficiency on offense. That's what jumps out at me. You aren't going to win many games shooting under 35%. Bad shot selection, too much one-on-one play, not finishing with authority. Now, these are correctable errors. They could choose to come out in the second half and completely flip that script.
That concludes our halftime presentation. We now take you back to Kevin Harlan for the second half.
Welcome back, everybody. Third quarter just about to get going here in what has been so far a runaway game. You look at Hassan Whiteside in this game. Guys, he's everywhere.
He's just been terrific. This is what they needed from him.
He's played like a man possessed right now, and his team is thriving as a result.
Well, it's been a one-sided affair so far through the first 2 quarters, but there's plenty of time to mount a comeback. Here's Irving. Smith and LeBron filling out the wings. Derek Williams is out there with Thompson. And it's Irving in at the point guard position. That's the group starting the second half for Tyronn Lue. Now, here is Irving after LeBron James's miss. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
And once LeBron gets the ball in the painted area, the force he plays with, it's hard not to foul him.
And LeBron James, almost unquestionably the greatest player in the league over the last decade, a bright spotlight. But you know, Steve, he's never shied away from that.
No, he hasn't. I mean, he's been in the center of attention for a long time. I think we saw some of that last season as Steph Curry and the Warriors were the focus of so much attention. But LeBron, both on and off the court, making sure that he didn't get swept aside.
And the Cavaliers making a change here. Love's checked in. And here is Waiters. Kicks it to Ellington. 6 to shoot. Misses the 3, and he used the pump fake well there, but he couldn't capitalize. Here's LeBron. Here's Thompson. And the officials whistle a foul on the shot. The bucket's good. He'll go to the line. First trip to the free throw line for him tonight.
Numbers this year at the line below 70, so when he's getting to the line, not nearly as effective as you'd like.
One thing about Thompson, he's made improvements to his body and his game each and every year.
And now the fast break. Irving with the ball. Kept alive. Thompson dishes to LeBron. That's in, coming off the assist from Thompson. And that's 12 points for LeBron.
He's got some serious momentum going right now. He's been great all day. Even last game, he was on fire.
You know what? He doesn't get worn down coming off a big game. It just builds him up even more.
Waiters. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line. It's going to go on Tristan Thompson. The Heat have really struggled at the line in this one. Well under 50% so far.
This season, in general, has not been kind to them at the free throw line. Only about 71%.
Shooting 2.
Free throw, good. Waiters. Both shots good from the stripe. The Cavaliers trail by 9. To the paint. Here's Love. Second chance shot. And Whiteside sends it back.
And you know what? He's just not on his game. No doubt about it. Their deficit isn't totally on him, but he has not been an asset for his team. And they had some botched coverage that turned into no coverage.
And it's Dion Waiters with the foul. That is his first foul of the game. That's a 2 from Smith. That's in, coming off the assist from Thompson. Smith's got his first basket of the night.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agenda.
And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, the Miami Heat is still relevant in the East. The team made some excellent roster moves to bring in new talent after losing LeBron James to Cleveland a couple of years ago. Coach Spoelstra said, how many teams, if you lose the best player in the game, can have a compelling team 13 months later? You know, Kevin, in Miami, they don't stay down for long.
Thank you, DA. A championship caliber organization from the top down.
Oh, inflicting some punishment with the two-hand flush.
They're going for the throat. Channing Frye's checked in for Cleveland. Johnson, he's checked in for Miami. Just under 2.5 minutes into the third quarter now. Now LeBron, 14 points for him. The dish now to Thompson. 5 on the clock. There's a good screen. Smith missing again.
Honestly, I don't know how they cut into that lead with him missing so many shots.
Babbitt, good.
Taking good shots overall, hitting a high percentage of them. That's what has this team rolling.
Timeout called, Cleveland.
When Tyronn Lue took over, the Cavs made sure that he was not an interim coach. They took that tag off, and Tyronn Lue has been a coach in waiting. He's done a nice job getting these guys to move the basketball and play unselfish.
And the Cavs front office made clear from the start that they had the utmost confidence in Coach Tyronn Lue and his ability to lead the team.
What I love is they revamped his contract, showed the commitment. I think when you see the buy-in he's got from the players and the way he's motivated them, it was a no-brainer.
Williams is checked in for Cleveland. And Miami with a change here, too. Reed's checked in. That's good, and the Heat lead is cut down to just 8 points on the bucket from Darren Williams. Now here's Dragic. He's got 8. Here's Waiters. And a rebound goes to the Cavaliers. Thompson's got 15 rebounds here tonight. Dragic against Williams. Back to Smith. Shoots from the corner. And it's Reed pulling it down. Reed's got his 5th rebound in this one. And the bucket counts, and he's on his way to the free throw line. Try to make it a 3-point play.
One shot. He seemed like he was never going to come back down to earth. He hung in the air forever.
Free throw, good. Waiters.
We're still waiting for that first miss from the line this half.
Here's Smith. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
J.R. Smith, an all-out gunner. Never saw a shot he didn't like, but you know what? It works for him.
And you look at the numbers, Steve. J.R. Smith shoots just as well on contested triples, which is interesting, as he does on wide open ones.
He said he actually prefers contested shots. We're talking about a guy that's confident making tough shots. Sometimes when he's wide open, I think he's just bored taking those.
And he can't make the second free throw either, missing both.
You know how accurate JR is from 3. That's how relatively inaccurate he can be from the line sometimes.
Reed kicks to Waiters. Here's Babbitt. Moves back up. And count the basket. He is fouled, and he's going to the line for one more.
Yeah, they're going to have a nice little run here.
He's 0 of 2 at the line in this one. The Cavaliers trail by 14. Williams with the ball. Passes it to Fry. Thompson right side. Got a piece of it. Johnson outside. Babbitt. It's good on the putback. Babbitt's got 7 points for the quarter.
They're doing a really good job of getting the ball inside and attacking the paint. That's an area they have completely dominated.
Now here's Williams. The offensive rebound.
And you saw how quick the defense was. They were ready for him. They got the hand in the face there and made that much more difficult.
That kind of tier defense is crucial to any team's success. Gotta defend the paint.
Here's Babbitt. 16-point lead, the largest margin in the game. Thompson with the rebound. Thompson's got his 16th rebound on the night. And it's Smith penetrating, and it's good. Assisting on the play was Williams. Williams has got 3 assists now in this one. And here are the Heat now. They're on a 13-4 run right now. Dragic the pass to Reed. Johnson, a wide open look, connects from 3-point range. Johnson's got 5 now.
The assist totals, Kevin, just continue to grow. They're way ahead in that category. Ball movement has been flawless.
Pretty early to be over the limit. That foul situation is something we want to keep an eye on.
The Cavaliers have only made 2 attempts, shooting poorly at the line in this one. The first one falls.
And they came out of the locker room after halftime with a much more physical approach than what we saw in that first half.
Amon Shumpert's checked in for Thompson. No good on the second free throw. The Heat leading by 16. Johnson kicks to Waiters. He dishes it to Babbitt. And the refs are going to rule that unnecessary contact. It's a flagrant one foul.
And Kevin, I got to tell you, he's probably fortunate to just get a flagrant one there. I mean, so much contact. The officials easily could have gone even harder on it.
Greg, I agree. He better be on his best behavior from now on. One more flagrant of any variety, and he's out of here. That's good from Babbitt.
Oh my gosh, I just got that.
And he makes the first, but misses the second. Williams, he's checked in for LeBron. And it's the Heat with the ball. And again, it's the Heat missing.
How about him there, just bodying him up to make him alter the trajectory on that shot?
Make your presence felt. He definitely altered that shot.
The Heat leading by 17. Outside Dragic. He kicks to Reed. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot. Well, folks, tonight a great rebounding game we're watching in progress. And now, you know, with that in mind, let's take a look at the all-time record for rebounds in a single game. How about Wilt Chamberlain with 55 rebounds back on November 24th, 1960.
And guys, that's one of those records that always seemed to me impossible to break. I mean, in the modern era, nobody's even sniffed that 55 rebound mark. I mean, heck, a lot of teams don't get 55 rebounds in a game, and Wilt's owned it since 1960.
And that one misses. And he's good on the second. Here is Williams. 5 points in the game. Timeout called. Cleveland.
Guard it.
And starting to send guys to the line way more than they need to. Let's get some good position defense going here. That should be the emphasis, and get away from the sloppy fouls.
Well, all over the league, we're seeing more and more teams rely on analytics and data for decision making. How do you think, Smitty, the data affects the way the modern NBA game is run by the front offices?
You know, I think it's too much at times, Kevin, and then sometimes I challenge it. I think when you're scouting a player coming out of college, I think it's great. But I think sometimes I've challenged. Some people say, well, Smitty, you never posted up on the left block.
Right.
That was Tim Duncan's block. I cannot have
That's why you couldn't go on the left.
I'm not going to have the same numbers on certain blocks because, guys, the guys you play with kind of dictates where you score from on the floor.
Stolen by Waiters. Dragic against Williams. And it's good. Fought through contact. Gets the shot. He'll go to the free throw line.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
Josh Richardson's checked in for Dion Waiters. The Cavaliers trail by 21. Williams dishes to Williams. And that'll be Cleveland as it goes out of bounds. Cavaliers retain possession.
You know what? A low percentage pass on that one, but sometimes it's worth the risk.
Yeah, questionable, but it almost got through. It's probably a quick bucket if it did.
Tyler Johnson, he's checked in for Miami. Now here is Smith. Here's Fry. Up and in on the layup. Fry's got his first points in this one.
The length and athleticism of Fry showing up inside.
Johnson with it. Williams picks him up. Smith against Johnson. To the middle. Here's Reed. The shot's good on the assist by Johnson. Johnson's got his third assist on the night.
High basketball IQ right there. Saw his teammate had the advantage, so he got him the rock and let him go to work.
Now here's Williams. 7 points in the game.
And if the shot's not there, you've got to understand that. Move the basketball.
Those types of shots are low quality. You're not going to win too many friends on that one.
And here's Richardson outside. And a rebound goes to the Cavaliers. They could use a big shot here to get this offense going.
Too many empty possessions. Right now, they need a basket.
Williams a screen. Williams kicks to Smith. Nailed from three-point land. Smith's got 7 points.
And he finally gets involved from beyond the arc. His first three of the game comes here in the second quarter.
Johnson against Williams. In the corner, it's Richardson. Now here's Johnson. D right on him. Shot clock at 6. Pass to Babbitt. Unable to get that one. Excellent D there from Williams. And the foul on Luke Babbitt. That's his third foul so far. Bonus situation in effect, so we'll head to the free throw line for 2.
Channing Frye is one of those 7-footers that you say needs to get down in the paint, rebound. No, he's totally different. He's like a guard. He stands around the three-point line, floats around, waiting to knock down a catch-and-shoot three.
That free throw missing. And Channing Frye, one of those players who show up very well in the advanced analytics, the advanced measures of the game, the statistics. He makes winning plays.
Yeah, he does. I mean, he knows how to play a big man that's basically a stretch 5, but also can rebound and make those key plays when you need him.
And Cleveland making a change here. Love's checked in.
The Cavaliers really wanted Channing Frye. Made the deal at the trade deadline. They took a huge luxury tax hit to add him to the team.
Richardson the pass to Johnson. And McRoberts kicks to Reed. And there's Richardson. That's good on the assist from Reed. Richardson's got his third bucket of the night. The Cavaliers trail by 19. And Frye at 6'11", an excellent three-point shooter. He gives the Cavaliers, Steve, a different look in the front court.
In the playoffs, it's all about matchups. He has some big games helping them sweep the Atlanta Hawks in the semis. When you have shooters at every position, it's tremendously difficult to defend.
And there's the basket. Whistle blows and a chance for a three-point play. Going to the line for 1.
Shooting 1.
Well, and so he's picked up his final foul, and he will sit for the rest of this game. And the Cavaliers making a change here. Korver's checked in, and Miami with a change here too. Ellington's checked in. Cleveland's gone 1 of 4 in three-point shots here in the third. Outside Williams. Williams sets a screen for Williams. Shot off the screen. That shot off. And it's Miami the other way. They get to take on the Bulls at Chicago after this one. That'll be the third game of this 3-game road trip. Now here's Ellington, guarded by Korver. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact and he'll shoot 2.
Oh, the officials are all over that one.
First free throw is good. Kyrie Irving's checked in for Cleveland. That one is no good. The Cavaliers shooting poorly, just 35% so far. Shumpert, no good.
You know what, though? Sometimes you can be too open. I think it may have surprised him, and that's why he missed.
Here's Ellington. The jump shot from the baseline is right on target. Ellington's got 11 points.
And they seem to have gotten something out of almost every possession. Their defense has been just as good, just a tremendous performance all the way around.
And what's impressive to me, it's on the road. Just makes you appreciate their effort even more.
It really does make the game easy for your teammates when you can lead them to the rim that well with a pass.
Reed a screen. Johnson dishes to Ellington. That's good, and Johnson with the assist. Johnson's got 6 assists now in the game.
And defensively, guys, they've been unable to shut down the middle.
Some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, right now you just need a bucket to get some momentum.
Williams with a clean look, and Channing Frye gets the whistle that time. That's his 3rd foul so far. Bonus situation in effect, so we'll head to the free throw line for 2. Whiteside's checked in for Miami. The Heat leading by 22. Johnson kicks to Whiteside. Johnson the screen. Whiteside the pass to Richardson. And stolen by Irving. And now the fast break. Irving with the ball. Pull-up jumper. And the Cavaliers getting another bucket right there.
Out in transition, Kyrie finds his spot down the court. Finishes the job.
Miami's gone into a slump here from three-point range. Shooting just 1 of 5 here in the 3rd. Whiteside sets the pick for Johnson. Ellington kicks to McRoberts. Bangs home the trifecta. McRoberts has got 4 points now in the quarter.
You know, the defense has got to do a much better job of fighting over those screens.
You know, that job of getting through screen is not pretty, but somebody has to do it.
Now here's Shumpert. He hasn't scored yet. That I'm sure will change. Here's Frye. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
One of the best free throw shooting bigs in the league. If only Frye could get there more often.
And this is his 2nd trip to the line tonight.
Gotta admire what he's been able to do at the free throw line this season. How about over 90%?
And he knocks down the first one. So after making the first, he goes 1 for 2. The Heat leading by 22. Shumpert with the steal. About 7 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. The kick out to Irving. Here's Williams. It's off target. He's 4 of 9 from the field. Miami's gone a less than productive 2 of 6 from three-point land in the second half. Johnson dishes to Whiteside and stolen by Frye. Here's Irving. Played in with a nice touch off the glass. Irving's got 12 in the game.
And with that speed, once he took off, the D just had no chance of getting back.
Why waste all that energy? No one was going to catch him.
The 3 quarters of play all in the books, and this one all but over already. Miami ahead, running away with it. It's the NBA on 2K Sports from Quicken Loans Arena. And we're getting underway here in the 4th quarter. The scoreboard tells the story in this matchup, but we'll see how much things change up here. The Heat leading by 20. On the floor for Miami starting the 4th. We've got Luke Babbitt. Dion Waiters is out there with Dragic. Then there's Josh McRoberts. And it's Whiteside in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. There's the pick. Waiters passes to McRoberts. That shot misses. Great D that time from James.
Well, his team is winning. I think he wants to help seal the deal, but maybe shooting the basketball right now may not be the best way to get it done.
And so here is Miami. Earlier in the game, they held a 25-point lead. Feeds it to Babbitt. And Waiters kicks to Babbitt. And the Cavaliers pushing it up now. Here's Smith. Rebound by the Heat. Whiteside's got rebound number 17, if you can believe that. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up. Steve, you were able to enjoy a lengthy career. You played 14 seasons. With players coming into the league usually after 1 year in the college ranks, do you think career lengths will decline for NBA players?
You know, I don't think so. I'm starting to look at guys playing longer and longer. I think one is not a lot of banging, but I think also they're taking care of their bodies more and more. Guys are playing now up to 20 years in the league.
Amazing, isn't it?
And you're starting to see that regularly.
Deron Williams is checked in for Cleveland. Johnson, he's checked in for Miami. And both free throws good for Babbitt. The Cavaliers shooting struggles apparent. 37% from the field. Williams against Waiters. Smith with a screen on Waiters. Here's Thompson. Good, and it's Williams who picks up the assist. 14 points for Tristan Thompson.
Not the first guy who comes to mind in the catch-and-shoot game. Thompson drills that one.
Whiteside against Thompson. Back to Whiteside. Good ball movement here by the Heat. Clock at 6. Here's Waiters. Pulls from the top of the key. Thompson with the rebound. Thompson's got his 18th rebound here tonight. All over the place. Shots good by Williams.
Not a high percentage look, but the defense gave him just enough space, and he buried it.
The Heat leading by 17. Dragic kicks to Whiteside. Second minute off the clock now in the 4th. Johnson the screen. Pass to Babbitt. This one for 3. They grab their own miss. Here's Waiters. That one wide left.
You know what? Those are shots you just hate to miss when you get those kinds of bunnies on a possession.
The shot by Williams, no good. The Heat have gotten off to a rough start in the 4th quarter, going 0 for 4 so far. Waiters gets a wide open look. The shot goes down. Very quick possession right there. Just over 2.5 minutes played now here in the final quarter of regulation. LeBron is screen on Dragic. Releases. Second shot opportunity, and foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot 2.
Quietly becoming more dangerous on the offensive end, Thompson draws contact.
At the line for your Cavaliers, Tristan Thompson. Taking 2 shots.
He misses the free throw. Good on the second free throw. And so here is Miami. It's an 18-point lead. And just about 3 minutes through the 4th quarter here. And Waiters kicks to Dragic. It falls through, making him 6 for 11 in the game.
And an open path to the hoop there. Easy bucket. We've seen that far too many times today.
That explains the gap on the scoreboard. Attacking offense against a defense that's far too relaxed.
Smith. The rebound by Johnson. Miami leading by 20. Dragic dishes to Waiters. The feed now to Whiteside. To the inside. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2. Well, the NBA now playing games in London every season. Games selling out in record time. Word is Steve, the league would eventually like to launch a 4-team division in Europe. You think that could work?
You know, I don't think so. I think when you look at it, that's be so hard for teams traveling back and forth, and especially those teams in Europe. They'll be traveling over here to the States a lot. I can see an all-star game in Europe, maybe in London.
Too, yes.
I think an all-star game first.
That's also good. So he hits both free throws. And a little over 3.5 minutes in the books so far here in the fourth. And it's Thompson with the jam.
And this is where Thompson likes to get his touches, right at the basket.
Miami leading by 20. They set the pick. Waiters passes to Dragic. Looks good, is good. That's his 7th basket in 12 tries. The Cavaliers have gone 3 of 8 here in the fourth quarter. And here's Irving. Stolen by Waiters. And here we go with Waiters running it up the court. A flawless finish on the alley-oop.
Excellent work there in transition.
He doesn't give the defense any time to set up. He just goes extremely hard to the bucket.
They've been a little too casual with the ball out there.
Yeah, but you can't force that square peg into the round hole. Oftentimes, you just got to make that first simple pass and get a rhythm from that.
And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
Aggressive defense, too aggressive. Thompson goes up strong and draws the foul.
Steve, as a player, how often did you go into a situation knowing that you might get a technical foul called on you for saying something to a ref?
You know, a lot of times, Kevin, I went into a referee understanding the game and saying, hey, the momentum right now needs to slow down. Sometimes I get a tech because you kind of have some outbursts, but sometimes I tell the referee, I need a tech right now. Just give me one. Without even really saying anything wrong.
And would they give it to you?
Yeah, sometimes. If not, you know, I'll just say a few choice words, and then you'll get one.
Good. Tell me that when we get off the air, okay? Thanks. Jarek Williams, he checked in for Darren Williams. And that trip coming up empty, missing both.
It's interesting. No free throw attempts for him in the first half. He's finally pushing the action and reaping the reward.
And Waiters kicks to Whiteside. That one a little long.
I didn't see that miss coming. I mean, he's usually been money from that range.
And he gets it to go. That's 12 points for Williams.
Usually on the finishing end of plays, JR this time playing the role of facilitator.
Dragic kicks to Waiters. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
I tell you what, he earned his money on that foul.
Free throw, good. Waiters. Hey, Steve, we've seen more and more teams relying on high-powered offenses to lead them to wins. Is this just part of a cycle the league goes through, or is this the offensive revolution that we've been looking forward to and is well underway?
I think it's here to stay, Kevin. Reason why the rules have changed, and I think it favors the offense. No hand checking, no chucking. So ultimately you see more points on the board, Kevin.
I would think you would have loved to have played in this era of free-flowing basketball.
Yeah, you could take about 12, 15 threes a game. That would have been beautiful.
Irving dishes to James. Back to Irving. And it's blocked by Whiteside. They get it back. Williams' shot is off. The Heat have gotten just under 45% of their attempts to drop in the fourth. 4 of 9. Dragic the pass to Ellington. Out of bounds. Cleveland will take possession. Cleveland's gone 1 of 2 from 3-point range here in the fourth. Irving kicks to LeBron. That misses off the backboard. Miami's gotten off to an 0 for 2 start from downtown here in the 4th quarter. Smith against Waiters. They set the pick. Dragic kicks to Waiters from about 19 feet. Miami no good on that time either.
Almost no chance of that shot going in.
On that play, you got to trust your teammates. Instead of forcing that one, just pass it.
And really, how about the quick release on that triple there, because he's given up a lot of height in that matchup.
He has to have a quick trigger when he's facing a size mismatch as big as the one he had right there.
Right side a screen. Waiters dishes to Ellington.
That's his 4th foul of the evening. He needs to be careful now. Pick and choose where to be aggressive.
Well, the league last summer decided to implement new rules, Steve, to discourage the hack-a-shack intentional fouling. What'd you think?
You know what I like, Kevin, to see if we can get to a number during all quarters. If you get to a number, say, 15 team fouls. After that, no matter who it is, it's 2 shots and the ball. I think that will limit the hack-a-shack rule.
Possession would be a big factor.
Would be huge.
Yes.
Yes.
Kyle Korver, he's checked in for Derek Williams. Ellington hits them both. And so here's Cleveland. Here's Thompson, and it's Thompson with the jam.
For a player of LeBron's size to have the skills of an elite point guard, you gotta love that.
Irving against Dragic. There's the pick. Out left to the wing. Babbitt from long range. Right side, the pass to Waiters. Took the opportunity when he saw it. Waiters got 20.
It's a +5 advantage for them in rebounding after that one.
Now here's LeBron. He's covered closely, and Thompson throws it down.
You might look at him and think he's too small, but he still gets up there with any big man in this league.
Dragic kicks to Whiteside. Back to Dragic. Launches it. Cavaliers with the rebound. Inside, here's Irving. Outside Korver. Cleveland moving the ball around. A shot by Thompson, and no one's around. And that one comes up a bit short. Miami leading by 21. Ellington dishes to Babbitt. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2. Well, we see it every year, and recently it's as bad as ever, Steve. What do you think about the coaching turnover rate in the league?
You know, Kevin, I don't like it. I mean, you have coaches change from style to style, and then after 2 years, a guy is gone. He got to give him a chance to be able to implement his style and get a chance to get a camaraderie with his players. It's too much right now.
And he's been to the line much more here than he was in that first half. He's not playing nearly as tentatively as he was earlier.
And both free throws good for Babbitt. Cleveland's gone 2 or 3 in the 4th quarter from long range. Good shooting so far. LeBron James on the wing. Goes up the baseline, and he nails the jumper.
And in this case, it doesn't matter how good the defense is. LeBron's offense is just that much better.
Now Dragic. They set the pick. Waiters no luck. And the Cavaliers pushing it up now. Irving leading the charge.
When he's that close inside and the defender is giving up that much height, it's over.
And Kyrie Irving, one of the most talented scorers, certainly, Smitty, in the NBA, but he feels the pressure, I think, to try to tighten the screws in his game defensively.
You don't get many nights off defensively at the point guard position in today's NBA. That position is very deep. No excuses, though. To be great, you've got to get it done at both ends.
Waiters passes to Whiteside, and the jam by Whiteside.
And guys, he's not an easy man to stop when he's got the rim in his sights.
Never has been, never will be. He is a determined finisher. Korver, a screen on Dragic. Dishes it to Korver from outside the arc. Yes, and it's Irving picking up the assist. And that's now 6 points for Kyle Korver. The Heat leading by 18. Outside Dragic. He feeds it to Ellington. The Cavaliers pull it in. LeBron's got 3 rebounds so far in the game. Korver kicks to Thompson.
Shooting in Cleveland, Tristan Thompson. 2 shots.
And he makes the first. The Cavaliers making a switch here. Shumpert's checked in. No good on the second free throw. Miami's gone ice cold from three-point land, 0 of 4 since the start of the final quarter. Dragic dishes to Ellington. Waiters makes it off the glass. Waiters got 13 points in the second half.
That's just an awesome assist. Really paced the ball in their ideal spot.
Timeout called the Cavaliers.
Start it.
Yeah, can't be pleased with all these easy looks they continue to give up there in the paint.
Opposition is just having their way with them down low, and he wants to put a stop to that.
Here's Shumpert. Yes, and it's Smith with the assist that time.
The power, the size, you like to see Shumpert attack the paint more often.
Dragic against Irving. Outside Dragic. And there's the pass to Whiteside. 4 on the shot clock. Babbitt's shot is off. The Cavaliers trail by 17. Shumpert passes to LeBron. Irving with a clean look. No good on the triple.
Hard to figure out how he doesn't knock that one down. No defender in sight.
To the inside. It's stolen by Smith. Thompson misses.
I mean, that can happen to anyone, but it's ugly every time it does.
Yes, getting a little ahead of himself on that play.
The shot's good.
And this is going to end in a lopsided victory. I love the tenacity and aggressiveness as well as the ability to close. You really got to give it up here for Miami.
This was a very efficient offense tonight.
And they found a way to get their shots to go down. A little luck didn't hurt. A lot of their 50-50 shots fell their way.
And so this will mark the 15th win of the year for them.
They can chalk this one up, but these two teams will see plenty more of one another before the season's over. Just a quality win, and you look at the box score and some really good numbers for Whiteside, and with the way he came out energized on the defensive end in particular, getting a hand on a lot of shots, that really got them rolling.
Looking at who's out there now for the Cavaliers. Channing Frye's checked in for Thompson. Williams comes in for LeBron. And it's Williams in for Kyrie Irving. Now here's Ellington, covered by Smith. Ellington kicks to Johnson. Off the pick. And it's Johnson with the jam.
Just look at how quickly the lead has grown here over the last few possessions.
I mean, the game is in hand, but they're still running their offense, and they're just plain and simple, still making shots.
And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Johnson. James Jones, he's checked in for Cleveland. 40 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. Here's Williams. And it's Williams again missing. Johnson outside. Kicks it to Richardson. Pass to Magruder. Back to Richardson. Here's Magruder. Clock at 6. Haslam a screen, and Jones sends it back. And they get it back. And they'll turn it over. Could not get off a shot. 24-second violation. Here's Williams. Stolen away. Oh, and a fast break for the Heat. And he jams it with authority.
Well, guys, they came in here and really took charge from the opening tip. This is such a tough thing to do for a visiting team. This contest was played on their turf.
No intimidation factor at all. They felt like they were playing at home, and they showed it.
And so Miami takes this one by a big margin. To come into an opponent's building and dominate the way they did tonight says, I think, Greg, an awful lot about this team.
I guess they don't need home cooking to feel at home. I mean, Kevin, just a masterful performance all the way around.
It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Thanks very much. Goran, was defense the key to getting this victory tonight?
Yeah, we know if we want to win that game, we have to be solid in defense. You know, they're a fast running team. They're gonna shoot three-point line, and we just have to be solid in defense. And we did that, and in the end, we won that game. So.
Yeah, you guys worked outside in, and you were able to get stops and get the win. Congrats, Goran. Back to you, Kevin.
David, thank you as always. And that'll do it, folks. For Steve Smith, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan thanking you for tuning in. And now time to go to Ernie Johnson, who's alongside Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith.
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Welcome back, friends and neighbors. Ernie Johnson along with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny Smith as we move forward to the presentation of our Jordan Player of the Game, Hassan Whiteside. What can you say? Double-double on a big night. Of course, any victory is big, but he really seemed to put a little extra effort into this one.
When you talk about Whiteside, you're talking about a guy capable of putting up 20-20 every single night. We've seen him do that more than a few times, and he's going to keep doing it. His rebounding is fantastic. He's always around the ball, and his timing is outstanding. This guy has great shot-blocking instincts.
In terms of individual rebounding, he had a game that will be remembered for a long, long time. Whether it's chasing down long rebounds or grabbing one in traffic or one-handed rebounds, he was going after them and corralling all of them.
That's going to do it for our broadcast tonight. We certainly hope you've enjoyed the show, don't we, guys?
It was great.
Yeah. Kenny Smith, Shaquille O'Neal, and for Kevin Harlan and the entire 2K Sports crew. All 653,000 of them.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Hard-working.
A lot of people.
Yeah. It's a long line at the buffet, though.
Yeah. Shout out to the T-Poles, man.
Oh,
yes. I don't know his name, but I know his face.
I'm Ernie Johnson. See you next time.